And hello, welcome to another episode of the Dumb and Dumbest podcast with me, your host, Matt Bacon, and my wonderful co-host, Curtis Dewar.
Hello.
This is the music industry podcast where everything is terrible and the house is on fire.
That's right.
Today, we're going to be talking about Curtis.
Doing stuff even when you feel like shit.
Yeah, which is hard and unfortunate and not fun.
Yeah. And I'm having one of those days today, so hey, I'm on camera, Matt. Do you see that? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I see you, Curtis. You're looking very slick.
Very slick. You can just see my forehead now.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what we're talking about, I think.
Yes, your bald spot.
Yeah.
Anyway. Jesus Christ. For context, would you like to talk to our lovely listeners about the day you're having?
Sure. By 7:30 in the morning today, so first thing I wake up, I got the flu. Caught it from Sarah the other day. She's bragging about it too, and she thinks it's hilarious. So I got the flu. I feel like crap. I'm coughing my brains out. Sore throat. It's like 5:15, 5:30 in the morning. I hit snooze for a couple of minutes. Finally decided I got to get up because I can see all these messages from European people wanting me for something. So I get up, go downstairs. There's ants all over the fucking kitchen. I'm already feeling like shit. And I notice I'm not walking very well. And I look down. And I can't really walk on my left foot. Something appears to be wrong with my toe. So I think, because I called the doctor this morning just to see if I was infected, it would appear that a cut I have might be on the beginning stages of getting an infection. So now I'm soaking my foot in hot salt water. But still, I've gotten a bunch of shit done, even though I got the flu with a possible infection today.
Yeah. So, I mean,
podcast.
Yeah, this is something I struggle with. This morning, I felt like shit and definitely slept later than I should have.
Yeah.
But how do you confront this when these sorts of days happen?
Well, because I work for myself, I kind of have to just do it because of the fact that I can't call in sick and go like, you can say you're sick for a bit to some of your clients, but if you keep doing it day after day after day, you're eventually going to get a bad reputation and not be able to work from home anymore. And you're going to be back to working in a restaurant or cashier or whatever the heck it is you do. So, so for myself, I kind of have to do it. Just do it. I've been doing this for like the last 5 years, so I'm just kind of used to just like not being able to say I can't come in today, that I kind of have to do it, right?
Yeah, fair enough. So how does that apply to bands? How do bands have to stick through? Because I have a few ideas, but I want to get
the same thing. Like when they're on tour, most of them will play even when they're sick. There's the odd one that won't. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, Rob Halford, who's like, 63 or whatever, he went on tour, he kept playing even though he had the flu, because people had paid him, paid hundreds of dollars for those tickets. And he still did the stadium tour that they were headlining that year. That was like, I think 10 years ago now, but still, and I know most of the big bands will do that. And they'll very rarely cancel even with an illness. So one of your favorite bands might be playing up there and the guitarist might have diarrhea, but he's holding it in just because of the fact that he has to do the job,
Yeah, this ties into something my friend Christian Larson said to me. He's a promoter out in Houston. And he said, why do you expect to get pro level results when you're putting in a hobby level of work?
That's the thing.
And so if you're not wanting to play because you're sick or you feel sad, like I've seen bands and I appreciate the need to call stuff off because of mental health issues. Like heaven knows I've had my fair share, but you also need to appreciate like what other people have in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you need to appreciate that like sometimes you just need to get stuff done or at least get through your obligations before you call everything off. Because if you're like, this happened recently where a band really bothered a lot of people to get opportunities and were given a lot of opportunities because they're like, oh, we're gonna carry out. And then they canceled because of mental health issues. And I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate that is an important thing that needs respect. But also, like, you have to realize when you do something like that, it radically reduces the trust other people have in you.
Yeah.
And also people assume that people assume that like because that's an easy out that people don't really ask about, like people will assume that you're just doing it because the money wasn't there or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a good look. You know, people assume that you're, you know, you got this is the thing. It's like I've definitely had some serious mental health crises where that's just what I had to do because I wanted to keep doing this, keep doing it 5 years down the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't have a mental health crisis week after week after week after week.
That's what I'm saying. At that point, you need to figure out why does this keep happening to me?
Yeah, and look at your own responsibility level and thing, because usually it's not really a mental health issue in that sense. It's usually more the fact of that you're just not confronting doing your work.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. But
So
now, one thing I wanted to mention though too is that I'm not saying like if you're sick, you should take care of yourself, but like at the same time, if you have something important that needs to get done, you can't just slough off all responsibility because you're not feeling well. Like I know today there's probably a bunch of things I didn't get done because like I said, I got the foot, I got the flu, but I still managed to get out 3 press releases. I did a whole bunch of contacts with my customers. I did all my social media. I'm still doing the podcast. So I'm still getting a ton of stuff done, even though I am aware that there's probably about 6 or 7 other things I didn't do today, you know?
yeah, and you know, and I think that's sort of one of the most important things for me with sort of the no 0 days concept, where it's like we're, you know, every day we're making sure that we're getting our shit done.
Yeah.
You know, one of the most important aspects of that is that I just have some basic things I do every single day,
Yeah.
which help make me more effective,
Yeah.
right? Like every single day I write a review.
Yeah.
Every single day I record a podcast.
Yeah.
Every single day, you know, every other day basically I write an article. Every single day I do a Bacon's bit. I still need to do a Bacon's bit today. You know, because the thing is, once you have like what if you can put like 3 things in your day that take less than 45, less than half an hour,
Yeah.
but that will concretely move your career forward, even if it's just incrementally,
Yeah.
then you feel so much better about yourself.
Well, it's not just that, but you keep up any momentum that you have. Like I've not
Exactly.
taken off a single day from social media in ages just because I don't feel right about it. So like if nothing else gets done that day, even if I'm on vacation somewhere, quote unquote vacation, I'll still do it.
Yeah, well, because you've got an ethical obligation to some extent to your clients.
That's the perfect way of putting it. Is there's an ethical obligation, and you may not always be able to get everything done, but you should be at least attempting to get at least as much as you can done, or a good chunk of it that's important at least. You know.
Yeah, and again, like you can tell people, you know, and there's no problem. Like I have no problem. Like if I wake up tomorrow and I have a bunch of prophecy calls and I'm facing what Curtis is facing, like I can tell prophecy like, yeah, it's not happening today.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that would be the, you know, the first, maybe the second time that's happened since I started working for them.
It's not a consistent thing. Yeah.
You know, like and also like people notice when you plow through and do it even though you're in a shitty place. Like at Psycho Las Vegas, I set up a meeting with a pair of really big clients, and I was clearly like, I don't drink, so I wasn't hungover. I was just beat,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But like, I could see the appreciation in those clients where even though I was like, I literally got a friend to bring me ibuprofen in the middle of the meeting. You know, even though that happened, like, you know, they understand like, oh wow, this guy's really in it for like keeps if he's not, you know, if he's not calling off this meeting when he's, you know, clearly feeling like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's really important, you know, because it's a slippery slope in my experience where like you call off one thing, you know, like I see this all the time with like, it's hard for me to wake up at 6 a.m. every day.
Yep.
And if I'll like, So my thing is I sleep 6 hours. I don't necessarily wake up at 6 a.m. because I go to so many shows.
Yeah.
You know, but like it's hard for me to only sleep 6 hours some days. But if I start giving myself more slack one day, then the next day I give myself more slack. Like it keeps, and then I get into a spiral, and then I end up today where I wake up late at like 7:30, and I feel bad about myself, and I'm not as efficient.
That's the worst, is when you sleep in, and then when you sleep in when you're not feeling well, then you feel like the whole day is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but I also would like to point out that for Curtis and I, sleeping in is sleeping till 7:30.
Yeah, pretty much. Except on the week, some occasional Saturday or Sunday, I'll sleep until 8. But I mean, that's usually what the latest is, 8:30 on a weekend. Weekday, I'm usually up at 5:30.
Exactly, and that's just how people routinely tell me, "Oh, I don't have time," and it's like, yes, you do. You just don't want to admit it.
And I got 2 kids and a wife, so try telling that to me.
Exactly. Like you have to, but simultaneously, I appreciate intellectually how hard it is sometimes to push yourself to do these things, and don't.
But once you start, it's not. Once you get the momentum going, it's not that bad.
Exactly.
Really not.
Once you start to, and that's why I always like to start my day with going running.
Yeah.
Just because that way. Anyway, so. So health practices with Curtis and Matt aside, how do you, I guess the question from there is, how do you fuel, why do you grind?
Why do I grind?
Yes.
Well, because I work for myself, and I'm basically accountable to myself. And if I don't keep my own professional conduct in, and I'm not assisting my clients daily and doing the things I'm supposed to be getting done as quickly as I can, then I'm going to be out of a job. And that's just the thing. This is my job. This is what I do. So my job isn't to sit around playing video games all day as much as I'd like to. I do that for maybe 20 minutes at night with my son before bed. But my job is to get results, right?
Yeah, and
that's why I do it. I mean, otherwise, like if I'm not doing it for that reason, I mean, I'm going to be working as a pizza chef in a couple months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's where it gets hard.
Yeah, well, it's hard, but at the same time, I mean, that's what you got to do in order to do what you want sometimes, right? Like there's tons of people that would like to be a PR or a manager or a consultant like you are full time, but the thing is that they don't, at the same time, when push comes to shove, they're not willing to do things like get up at 5:30 in the morning, 6:00 in the morning, work till 9:30 at night most days, right? They want to go up to the bar, they want to play video games or whatever.
Yeah, and this is what I try to explain to people when I talk about like grinding Instagram, for example. It's like, no, I get it. Grinding, like what I do on Instagram, like where I'm like I am literally, as we are recording this, commenting on people's Instagram shit. Like, because this isn't fucking Girl Scout camp. No offense to the Girl Scouts. Like, this isn't like this is fucking real life. Like, if you want to make money doing something as silly and fucking small as underground music, like people aren't lining up to give people jobs in underground music. You know what I mean? Like it's not like this isn't a fucking game.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it. Like you've got to work if you want to make money in a place where there is traditionally no money, and your parents told you not to do this because there is no money here.
Yeah, well, I got told there was no money, that there's no money in it. I mean, there's not a ton of money, but the thing is that you can make a full-time job out of it if you're willing to work your butt off.
Yeah, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I do.
You can either fucking go for it, or you can think that you get to work 8 hours a day and make a decent living.
Yeah.
Like there are 8-hour-a-day jobs in underground music, but like, I don't know. I have really high rent. I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, that's just all there is to it. Like I want to keep living in New York City. And
I could live in New York City.
Why don't you just come live with me? Abandon your family. Eat trash. Be
I'd
free.
also have to be American. I don't think Donald Trump likes us Canadians right now. I think our Prime Minister Justin Bieber has offended him.
Well, this is what you get for being a snow Mexican, Curtis.
I guess so.
Um,
Bieber's actually taken on his American citizenship, eh?
oh, has he?
Well, he's trying to right now. He's apparently applying for it. He's going to be a dual citizenship. So now he can become like governor of California or whatever state it is he lives in.
Anyway, heading towards the end, because I think these shorter podcast episodes have been getting more traction. Or if you prefer a longer format, please tell us. I know you guys liked the interview with Keith. We have more exciting interviews on the way. And those will be longer, but I think we're going to start being a sub 20-minute podcast.
And we're also planning on doing a podcast next week. Or not a podcast, a webinar.
We are planning on doing a webinar next week. So
Monday, unless we somehow forget how to do it, unless we can't figure it out.
Monday. Anyway, what do you have to plug?
I got a couple things to plug. I had a couple premieres today. I had Static Tension do a lyric video over at Metal Underground. It's pretty good. They're like kind of like grunge, Alice in Chains type thing. Really good band. My friend Nico, who also was in Twin Giant, did the write-up on that. So shout out to him. And then I got Hypnos, did a video over at Decibel today, which is pretty cool. They're Swedish traditional metal. You will like them. They're the vocalist is almost kind of similar to Bruce Dickinson.
Nice.
Kind of neat stuff. So if you like that kind of sound, it's almost like a stoner metal / trad metal sound. It's pretty cool. Anyways, that's my and Death on Fire did a video yesterday. I can't remember if I plugged them yesterday. I did, I think. But anyways, if you haven't watched it, go to the Metal Vault and watch that too. That's it.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. Otherwise, oh God, how am I blanking now? Yes, there is a Stone Deaf and Salem's Band tour coming up. Curtis is doing a press release on that, I think, as we speak.
It's already done. I'm just waiting for band approval or your approval.
Yes, so that's going to be a really exciting thing to get to check out and to be a part of. Yep. So I hope you guys enjoy that as much as I am, because both of those bands are really amazing live. Otherwise, we've got a whole host of things. If you want to see something kind of cool, head over to the Prophecy Facebook and check out what A Forest of Stars did to create their album art. It's really unique and interesting. They got like paper mache, like it's like paper crafted. It's not paper mache. It's like they like cut a bunch of paper and like made this really cool elaborate art.
It looks cool.
And they made like a video about how they made a video about how they did it. So you should go check that out, because that's pretty nifty and people seem to be kind of into it. Yeah. So anyway, that's where we're at. Thank you guys for listening. If you want a free hashtag list, you literally just have to email me.
Done?
And thank you guys.
Are we done? Done? Now?